The world is distracted. Cameras follow every move of Putin. Trump's outbursts fill the headlines. Europe's endless meetings about Ukraine are broadcast everywhere. But while the West obsesses over its own issues, something much larger is happening somewhere else. It isn't happening in Brussels. It isn't happening in America. It isn't even happening in Moscow. It is happening in India. India, once considered America's perfect partner in Asia, is quietly moving in a new direction. And this shift could reshape the map of global power entirely. Trump believed he could pressure India. He believed tariffs could force obedience. He believed threats could sway Modi. But India is not Europe. India is not a junior partner. India is not up for sale. When Trump imposed record-high tariffs on Indian exports, it wasn't just an attack on trade. It was a statement that America did not regard New Delhi as equal. Decades of diplomatic progress were at risk with one careless decision. Yet, America didn't notice that it had just awakened a sleeping giant. For years, America whispered promises. India would be a counterweight to China. It encouraged Apple to move iPhone production from China to India. It encouraged Silicon Valley to embrace Indian talent. It encouraged America's strategists to imagine an India-US axis. For a while, it worked. India welcomed investments. India expanded cooperation. India built bridges. But Trump broke it all. When he called India's economy failing, he wasn't just questioning numbers. He was insulting 1.4 billion people. The truth is, India's economy is far from failing. In 1991, its GDP was $266 billion. By 2023, it surged to $3.7 trillion, a 13-fold increase in 30 years. Year after year, India's growth surpassed even the largest economies. During the pandemic, India recovered faster than most Western nations. Bloomberg calls it the fastest growing major economy. The IMF calls it the engine of global growth. So when Trump dismissed India, he spoke arrogance, not facts. And what caused the tension? India's choice to continue buying Russian oil. But here is the hypocrisy. The US itself buys Russian uranium. In 2023, 27% of its enriched uranium came from Russia, a year after the Ukraine invasion. Europe still buys Russian gas too, some of it indirectly through India. So why punish New Delhi alone? Why demand sacrifices from some while ignoring others? This wasn't strategy. It was hypocrisy in the form of policy. India could have panicked. It could have asked America for leniency. Instead, it turned towards Moscow and Beijing. Diplomatic visits resumed. India's foreign minister went to Russia. China's foreign minister visited India after 3 years. Modi announced his first trip to China in 7 years. Border talks reopened, trade routes revived, flights restored. For the first time in decades, India and China began meaningful steps toward normalization. America realized India has alternatives. What has America risked? Almost 40% of generic medicines in the US come from India. Billions of dollars worth of Indian pharmaceuticals keep hospitals running. Tech giants like Apple, Google, and Microsoft depend on Indian engineers. Leaders in Silicon Valley, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Arvind Krishna, Shantanu Narayan, all Indian-born, shape global tech. India was not just a partner, it was part of the foundation, and now that foundation is shaking. Imagine the consequences. India restricts medicine exports. American drug prices soar. India keeps its engineers at home. Silicon Valley slows down. Apple's Indian factories halt production. The iPhone supply chain collapses. This is not hypothetical. This is the risk of arrogance. For decades, India and China were rivals. Border disputes, standoffs, clashes in Galwan Valley. But now something different is happening. Two new groups are formed, one to define the border, another to ensure peace. Pilgrimage routes reopen, trade resumes through key points, flights start again after years of suspension. Soon India and China leaders may shake hands. What once seemed impossible is now within reach. India has lived by one principle: non-alignment. It partnered with the US when it suited them. It worked with Russia when necessary. It balanced. It endured. But Trump's tariffs changed the game. The US revealed it values dominance over partnership. India refuses to be dominated. This isn't weakness. It is independence. India now looks elsewhere. Russia, a long-time defense ally. China, its largest trade partner. BRICS, a growing coalition. Together, they form an alternative to US dominance. Instead of isolating Russia, Trump drew it closer to India. Instead of containing China, he pushed India toward Beijing. Instead of securing dominance, he accelerated its decline. This isn't just a misstep. This is history in motion. Imagine if India and China don't just talk, but actually get closer. For decades, the Himalayan border was an unhealed wound. Every clash kept Delhi and Beijing apart, keeping India leaning toward America by default. But now things are shifting. Flights resuming isn't just about tourism. Trade routes reopening isn't just about goods. Handshakes aren't mere formality. They are a message to the world. If these steps become a genuine partnership, the global chessboard could flip overnight. Two of the most populated nations, with over 2.8 billion people, could cooperate instead of clash. China brings manufacturing power. India brings talent, democracy, and growth. Together, they can challenge the West. The US nightmare is real. It once hoped India would counter China. Now it may face India as China's partner. American companies lose the China plus India advantage because if both nations align, there is no plus. Supply chains shift to Delhi and Beijing, not America. The tech future, from AI to semiconductors, could be decided in Bangalore and Shenzhen, not Silicon Valley. The US encirclement strategy collapses. Bases around China matter little if India refuses to participate. Instead of surrounding Beijing, America may find itself surrounded. And what about BRICS? If India and China resolve differences, BRICS becomes a unified force, no longer fractured. Resources, manpower, markets. It is a coalition the West cannot ignore. This could mark the real end of Western dominance, not in decades, but years. India and China together are more than nations. They are civilizations that have survived every empire, every invasion, every division attempt. If they rise together, the world changes. India is not just another ally. It is the world's largest democracy. It is the fastest growing major economy. It is a nuclear power. It is a civilization with more than 5,000 years of memory. Memory matters. India remembers colonialism. India remembers betrayal. India remembers broken promises. And when pushed, India does not collapse, it rises. Today, America plays short-term games. India plays the long game, a game of centuries, a game of civilizations, a game beyond today's headlines. India has survived empires, invasions, betrayals, and yet it stands taller than ever. The real question isn't whether the world is changing, it already is. The real question is, when a new world order emerges, will India be a mere chapter, or will it be the author of the story itself?